So this is the self-development with tactics book.
So, this one's gonna be about Bill Gates. Bill Gates and his dreams, essentially, or his dream. Just joking. I'll see you after the intro. As always. Because every single day, as always, as something that we do every day. But yeah, with that being said, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. And if you wanna consume this particular episode, so this YouTube video that you're just seeing here, if you wanna listen to it, or if you wanna consume it in a way more effective way, then I would totally suggest you to go down in the description and there's going to be a link to the podcast, because this actually is a podcast, which means that you can just listen to this episode or listen to this video, which makes it really, really efficient because you can do something simultaneously. So yeah, if you want to do this, if you do not have the time for going through a 30-minute video or 40-minute video, who knows, who knows what I'm going to do today. And then I would totally suggest you to go to the description and check out the links there. And you'll also find the links to my social media pages if you're interested, If you want to check them out, they are also there. But yeah, I should actually rap. Should I? No, I shouldn't. But yeah, as I said already, we're going to talk about Bill Gates, Bill Gates and somehow his dream. And there's a particular reason why I'm talking about it, but first of all, I'm going to read the headline. Bill Gates says he retired from Microsoft nearly a decade earlier than he intended, and here is why. Earlier? No, I actually wanted to go... The funny thing is, the original headline... Can I go back there? The original headline was a little bit different, because the original headline was... Bill Gates recalls the day I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But it might even be correlated. And the reason why I've actually taken this one, and I kind of find it just really funny right now that it is not the same headline, but I guess it should be, and this is the point there. But why I would have taken it is because I believe in working at your passion, and I also believe in working at something that you just really like to work on. And unless it is actually the case that he found something new, that he just really is passionate about and really is motivated about, then I can't really understand it. Because, I don't know. The thing is, let's for example have a look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is actually a great friend of Bill Gates, which is something incredible to see. Like all the videos they're doing together or they were doing together, they're just really... I do not want to say funny, because even though they are funny to some degree, but they are just really nice because you can see just really good friends. This is what you can see in them. And it is just really amazing to see that they both are just great friends. Yeah, it really is just interesting and also pretty nice to see. It is just nice to see. But yeah, Warren Buffett, he's 85 years old or something. I do actually have to check that, because I'm always talking about it, but I do not even know how old he is. He's 89 years old, so he's quite 90. And he was born in 1930. So he's definitely a pretty old dude, but he's still working. And this is the point. This is actually a point that I'm willing to make, because he is working on his company, Hathaway, I think it's called, Hathaway, with Charlie Munger. Or actually Berkshire, Hathaway. Yeah. And it is just insane. He's 90 years old, quite 90 years. Just makes it a little bit simpler for me. And he's still working on it, And this is then a moment where you can just see that he's just enjoying what he's doing. And if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're also not willing to retire. This is also one of the reasons why a lot of authors do not retire, quote unquote retire. I still believe that some people kind of feel like or think like that, well, they haven't worked their life long, okay, it's not hard work to write a book and whatsoever. I can somehow assume that, I can really somehow assume that. But the thing is, they do not retire, even is it actually considered retiring? I don't know. Not quite sure. Just because you have never been employed, therefore, is it really retiring or is it something else actually? But they do not work, because what they are working on is one of the things they just really like to do and they really love to do. And they would just still do it, if it is their work, their actual labor, the way they actually make the living or not, is really a secondary thought, I guess, Well, it is actually pretty good, if it is just really good if you can just make money and make your living by doing the thing that you would just still do, or that you would just do anyway, besides the money part. But yeah, just something that I wanted to point out and just the reason why I initially wanted to go through this article. But let's see and let's read. For years, Bill Gates couldn't imagine doing anything besides running Microsoft, which he founded with Paul Allen in 1975 when he was still a teenager. If you would have asked me in my 20s if I would ever retire early from Microsoft, I would have told you that you were crazy, he writes on his blog Gates Notes. It is actually, by the way, a pretty good blog, and you should totally check it out as well. Maybe I'm even gonna check it out for the next episode that I'm gonna record, because especially the book listings or the book lists, his favorite books or the books that he was just reading in the summer holidays or whenever he was reading them, they're just pretty amazing lists and pretty interesting lists to just see what he's consuming. It is just really interesting to see what one of the richest and most successful people in the world or even history. But I don't know if this would be overdone. I really am not sure. The thing is, it is just really interesting to see what he's doing, what he's consuming, what he's reading, what he's thinking also. And there are quite a lot of good books. For example, something that I'm just thinking about is Educated. I do not know the author right now. I could look it up, but it is just always a little bit of a disturbing thing. I kind of feel like maybe I'm gonna look it up afterwards. But Educated, which is actually all about a girl, I guess, and this girl didn't have, I think, any education by the age of 17, I guess. So she was actually really old and she wasn't able to write, I guess, or read or both, do maths and all those things. And it was really interesting because I think when she was 22 or something, she actually was doing her PhD, I guess. And in the end, she is also having a PhD. And this is the really crazy part about it, because she never had any education up to her 17th birthday. And then suddenly, quote unquote, she's just really getting a pretty educated person. I really do not want to say intelligent. I really do not want to say, maybe it is just, what is this word? Yeah, she's just educated. I would say educated is one of the best ways to just describe that, Maybe just because also of the book, cover, title, whatever. Never mind. So he's the first to admit that especially in the early days of the company, he was obsessed with building the business. I loved being fanatic. I revealed in The Self-Made Billionaire says in the Netflix 3-episode documentary series Inside Bill's Brain. I didn't believe in weekends and I didn't believe in vacation. But by the time he reached his mid-40s, my perspective was changing. Gates said, and my worldview was broadening. In 2000, he and his wife Melinda launched their foundation, which works to reduce inequity across the globe. They transferred 20 billion of Microsoft stock to the Gates Foundation and started traveling abroad to study health problems in poor countries. The more involved he became with the foundation, the more he realized that his future career wasn't going to center around building software products. In 2001, Gates' good friend Warren Buffett invited him to speak to a group of business leaders about what he and Melinda were learning on their foundation trips. While speaking about global health that day, I was energized, Gates recalls. When ideas excite me, I rock, I sway, and I pace. My body turns into a metronome for my brain. The speech helped me see more clearly a life for myself after Microsoft, centered on the work that Melinda and I had started. He continues. Software would remain my focus for years, and I will always consider it the thing that most shaped who I am, but I felt energized to get further along with this new path we were traveling. Gates ended up retiring from Microsoft almost a decade earlier than I had planned, he writes, adding, the 2001 speech was a private moment on the way to that decision. It was the day I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It's a pretty amazing story. It really is amazing, and it's also just amazing to see that you can just change your mind. You do not have to do what you have been doing your whole life long. You really don't have to do. If you really feel like that you want to just do something different, something completely different, then please do it. We all can just do that, even though it might be a little bit like. So even though some people might consider changing your mind relatively often is just a really not good thing, because you have to stick to some things and you have to just, I don't know. I believe it is actually a pretty good thing, because when you actually understand, when you understand that the path you're on is not the right one, or not the right one for you, it doesn't have to be just right in terms of law, even though it just would be a good thing. Or just right in terms of morals or whatever. It just has to be right for you. And if you really notice that it is not right for you, then of course changing it up is a pretty good thing to do. And maybe even the really right thing to do. And I believe in it. And I really believe, and I find it pretty great, that Gates did that, because maybe this actually cost him the kind of status of being the richest man in the world. He's still, I think he surpassed Jeff Bezos not such a while ago, I guess. Once I think some Amazon stocks went down or whatever. Something was there. I don't remember. I really do not remember. But it is actually a pretty great thing. And I really believe that he was aiming for happiness, because I believe that he was of course happy, I guess, with the position he had in Microsoft and with what he had with Microsoft and as a company. But I kind of believe that he was searching for more, What I'm just actually reading between the lines there is that I don't know, like the thing is, you're building something for, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 years. Might have been, I think, 30 years or something for him. And, or 20, 30 years like that, I don't know. And I believe that if you try to build something and then in the end you were able to build it, then it's gonna be a little bit like boring. I really guess that it is gonna be a little bit boring, just because you somehow have this kind of urge to build something. And I guess it might have also been one of the reasons why he started to do something else, because Microsoft was built. Microsoft was doing really fine, and Microsoft was just, I don't know, growing and still doing fine and whatever. So there wasn't really a kind of urge for him to change something about the company or whatnot. So therefore I believe that he just wanted to have something new. He wanted to work on something. He wanted to let something grow. And I guess it is actually a pretty great decision then, or a pretty great way then to just do something else, to just have the foundation, try to build something with the foundation. It is actually a pretty important thing. And nice thing, and also suggestible thing, I have to say. But something that I've also seen there, which is actually another article, is, and I just clicked on it. Never mind. So Bill Gates listed pros and cons of getting married on a whiteboard, and what that says about his relationship with Melinda. Yeah, I can somehow feel that. I don't know. Like, I can somehow assume or feel that their relationship is not really kind of a regular one. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like that is just not a really regular one. That it's not just like, okay, she's the wife and I'm the man and I'm working and she's just doing shit at home or something. I really don't think so. I really guess. And something that I was also thinking about then is Melinda Gates' net worth, because the essential thing is that she would actually be she should actually be kind of worth quite the half of what Bill Gates is worth, and or actually the same. Melinda Gates, maybe it is even on her site, would be pretty interesting, because often it is actually the case that on Wikipedia you're actually having just a row in this kind of table, which is actually only for the net worth. Warren Buffett has one, and he's actually worth 80 billion or something. So I actually underestimated it. I guessed it was something like 60 billion or something. It is still just really a lot. Like, it really is a lot. But quite 90 billion is still a little bit more, I have to say. Or I think it was 85 or something. I don't know. But there's actually not such a thing for Melinda Gates. There is really not such a thing. Maybe Forbes says something. I've just read something about 70 billion. Gates maintains her position most powerful woman in philanthropy as a co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Is co-chair like, you have the chairman and then you have the co-chair, I guess, maybe? Founded in 2000, it is the world's largest private charitable foundation with a 40 billion trust endowment. She is increasingly visible in shaping foundation strategy, solving tough global challenges from education, poverty to contraception and sanitation. As part of the foundation's mission to help all people lead healthy, productive lives, she has devoted much of her work to women's and girls' rights. In her next chapter, Gates' mission is to close the funding gap for female founders through her investment in incubation company, Pivotal Ventures. She's actually on number 6, or she is number 6 on the 2018 Power Woman list from Forbes. And she's, of course, married. And she is living in Washington, actually. I don't know if Bill is also living in Washington, but they say the thing is, searching for net worths is she should be 70 billion worth, I guess. But I guess they just also assume like, okay, he's the wife, she's the wife of Bill Gates, therefore she just must be like several billions worth. But I don't know, and this would actually then be something very interesting, because in Austria at least it is actually the case that if you are married. If you're married and you're actually getting divorced, then your partner, the partners get each the half of just the other one's property and money and whatever, which means that basically in the end, all the money basically all the money, whether it be just a house as money or a car as money, everything has to be split. Just 50-50. And the thing is, then it was also then, I think, the problem with the divorce of Jeff Bezos and his ex-wife, and I then assumed as well that, okay, I really wonder if they were thinking about some contracts before that, and also that he's able to just maintain his wealth and whatever, which I kind of still assume, because I don't know. It is actually like just some bullshit thing to think about. Net worth and who is worth what and whatsoever, because in the end, nobody's worth anything. We all just as human beings are worth the same, and it is just paper money. I don't really believe that Bezos is having this money just in his pockets. I really don't think that he's having the money just in his wallet, but it is rather money that is just in terms of Amazon. Like, Amazon is worth just multiple billions, and because he's the CEO and also founder and he owns the whole fucking shit, that, okay, it is his money, basically. But what? But it is just paper money. The richest people in the world 2019. I do just want to see what it is. Okay, according to wealth gorilla. It's a pretty famous site if you just also been looking for net worths or some shit like that. The 25 richest people in the world. And I assume that a lot of people are going... There's actually a lot of people from China or Asian countries. I don't really want to say China because... I don't know. There are many Asian countries. Many Asian countries. Therefore, Jack Ma is also on the list. The founder, I guess, of Alibaba, or Alibaba, whatever it is called. But the thing is, he actually stepped back from being the CEO or actually chairman of Alibaba or the Alibaba Group, if there is something like the Alibaba Group, which is something that I don't know. But yeah, David Koch. David Koch is Charles Koch's brother and serves as the executive vice president of Koch Industries. I do not even know what Koch Industries are. And then we have Charles Koch. But David Koch looks a little bit younger, I have to say. Steve Ballmer, Robson Walton. I really don't know all the people. There is something really interesting. Really interesting. Oh, Sergey Brin. Do you know who Sergey Brin is? I hope you haven't read it. He's actually, and something that I didn't know as well, he's the co-founder of Google. Back in 1998. Google, I really don't want to say that Google is an old company, because it really is not. Like 1998, yeah. I don't know, let's talk about BMW. They were founded in, I think, 19... or 18 something, I think 1890 or something. They're really old, quote unquote. I still believe, there might be some, and of course there are going to be some family businesses that are just really old, like really old. And it is just nothing compared to that. Google is still a pretty, I also don't want to say young, because they have been in the space and they have been around for quite some time now to I don't know, it might be a little bit just... quote unquote bad if I consider them being young, but yeah. Then Alice Walton, I also don't know her. Sam Walton, okay. Alice Walton is the daughter of Sam Walton, and Sam Walton was actually, or is, the founder of Walmart. She founded the Lalama company in 1988, but it has since closed down. $1 billion, making her the 14th richest person in the world. Pretty interesting. I do wonder if she did something for that. Jim Walton. Jim Walton is the son of Sam Walton. Well, this is now really interesting. This now is really interesting because the thing is, first of all, it is just amazing. How much wealth Sam Walton was able to generate, make, whatever. It's really interesting, because I don't know, his son is worth 50 fucking billion and her daughter is 49 billion worth. I don't know how much of it might also be like in terms of stocks from the company itself, that actually Sam Walton, and I really do hope that he's still alive, but he's not kind of active or whatever. But it is just really amazing, what he just as a singular person was able to do. And also Jeff Bezos. Like, it is really, really amazing. It really is amazing. So Jim Walton, who is actually the CEO of Walmart. Oh no, he is on the Walmart board of directors and CEO of his own company, Arvest Bank. So he's a bank, or what? I guess he's actually a bank. Larry Page, co-founder of Google as well. Mukesh Ambani, an Indian business magnate. Michael Bloomberg. Is he actually the Bloomberg? Bloomberg is the founder and CEO of Bloomberg, the financial data and media company. Bloomberg is now 74 years old and one of the richest people in the world. Really interesting. Francois Bedeco-Myers became the reigning L'Oreal Harris when her mother, Leanne passed away in 2017. She now runs the holding company as chairwoman, with her family owning 33% of L'Oreal. Therefore, she's worth quite a lot. I know, still I believe that 33% isn't that much, and I do not know if this actually makes it different than... I'm sorry. If this then just makes a difference, if you're just, okay, you're the chairwoman, but there's probably going to be a board, I guess, Or is there a board? I don't know. I don't know all these business-related things or structural things. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is then like, okay, if all the people that are having like the other 67%, if they're going to just be able to kind of surpass your vote or whatever, or kind of just suppress your vote by their vote, whatever. I don't know. Maybe this is just working, maybe not. Carlos Slim Hilo, or Carlos, Mexican businessman. Amincho Ortega, Inditex Fashion Group. It owns Zara. It just owns Zara, and it is quite it. Larry Ellison, Oracle Company. Mark Zuckerberg is actually the fifth one, and he actually only did or made Facebook, which is actually Warren Buffett, then Bernard Arnault, who is Louis Vuitton. But I guess there must be something else in Louis Vuitton, I guess it is not only Louis Vuitton. Bill Gates, and then we're having Jeff Bezos. So I didn't actually know that the third richest person with $93.9 billion. Like, it is just numbers. Like, it's just really numbers. But yeah. This is going to be the end of the episode, I guess, This is going to be the end of the episode. I do hope that you've found some entertainment or value or information here that you just needed. I really hope. I really, really, really hope. And yeah, I wish you the best health, happiness, and all success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself, you're going to be remembered, which means your legacy, because being nice and being remembered as a nice person is totally something that is nice. But the thing is, no matter how nice you are, there's still going to be someone that might dislike you. Or there's actually going to be someone that even hates you. Just because you're you, or just because it is what it is. I don't know. And 3 other questions that I hope that you're going to ask yourself are, why are you here? What are you trying to change? And the third one is, what is bothering you the most? And those 3 questions hopefully are going to show you your purpose in life, and maybe even a business idea. This is kind of the thing that is coming with it, which is nice. But yeah. Subscribe to the podcast, and also subscribe to the YouTube video if you do not want to miss out on anything, and I'll see you the next time, hopefully.